Ladies and gentlemen, the Reliant B, and last I left off, I went ahead and disconnected all the battery to it and everything so I could manhandle it, and I went ahead and got a base coat on it. And what I usually use is duck egg blue, and it's really getting harder to find. I mean, I can still get it, but I don't like to buy paint online because you got to add tax to it and everything, all that good stuff. I prefer to buy it at the local hobby store, but he's completely sold out of it. So we kind of have to. I've been wanting to experiment, and I've got real close to duck egg blue, and that is pale gray blue, Vallejo, with a little bit of white in it, and it gets it just that. I call it Federation blue. Gives it just enough. It ain't white, you know. It's got a little blue tint to it because that's what they look like, especially on screen. Now I know the Wrath of Khan, you know, it looked gray, you know, and I know everybody when they first got it were painting it gray because that's what it looked like on screen. But I try to do the duck egg blue and everything. One thing I do a little bit of shading. I do either post shading or pre shading depending on what I'm in the mood for. So what I did on this is I took a dark gray primer, and I went ahead, and you can probably see the feathered edges. That just gives it a little more depth, you know, a little weathering. I mean, it ain't you know totally weathered, but it does give a little shading to it, especially on the bottom. If you can see it, it's probably more defined than the. I gotta probably go back in and fix that right through here. But anyway, it gives it the, you know, depending on how you look at it with the light, you know, it gives it a different effect in shading, and sometimes it looks bad on camera, you know, it may look like patchy dark, but once you get up on it, it looks, you know, really good. So anyway, probably do one more little shade on here, and the lights are probably making it look fancy, but, you know, to the naked eye, you don't see it. But anyway, I'm going to do one more coat, and we'll be on our way to decals. Then, while that dried, I went ahead and masked off the, whatever they're called, and on the miniature, it's more of a light blue. I want to say Lich Blau or Hell Blau or whatever they call it, but RLM 76. That's blue I like to use for the other Federation blue, and I got that on there. Got that masked off. Low setting on the airbrush, just you know, basically penciled in. Did it on the photons there, and then I'll paint the phaser banks later on. But my next thing is I'm going to go ahead and try to put one more little coat on here, fix that up, and then we're going to go through a little bit of a boring stage, and that'll probably be next video and probably the next couple of days. Is once I get this painted, I am going to we're going to put Future on it, and basically I'm going to airbrush lots of Future on this model, because this model is going to turn into a decal model. It's going to be all decals. That's the next step in, besides a little bit of painting on the nacelles, the detail of this kit. So that is where I'm going to be on that. So the next boring stage is going to be putting this in Future on both sides, and basically letting it dry and getting it glossy, because that's what we want. And then the next phase, while I put Future on the Reliant B, I'm going to go ahead and put decal bonder on the decals that I did, printed on clear decal film. However, I have to, I sprayed one coat of them already. I'm going to spray another coat, and that's what I like to use. I like to use the decal bonder. Old testers, I will cry when testers quits making this. I have yet to find anything really equivalent to it. Maybe something down the road, you know, they got some that you can make or buy that you can spray, but this stuff works, and I use it a lot when I print decals. These decals, they're printed on clear decal film, so when you pull these off, they look bright on the white here, but once you get them on the model, they'll really be very translucent, and that's looks cool because it gives it another little depth of realism. It don't just actually pop, look like you know, an Aztec multicolored Aztec, which some people can pull it off, some can't. I like to do the more subtle, kind of light, kind of hit it, and you see, oh, look, variation. But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. It's technically a short week, but we should get a lot of done because it's Thanksgiving coming up, and we'll get more done on the Reliant Bee. But the next video will probably be boring. I'll try to make it as entertaining as possible. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. The Reliant Bee, we're getting the paint on it, and then we're going to get it ready and prepped for decals. So that's what we got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.